Listen!
Welcome everyone, this is Andre's Restart, and this time we're talking about Metroid Prime 4. How it might be in this upcoming rumored Nintendo Direct, and how it might not be in this upcoming rumored Nintendo Direct, and if it ends up not being there, how this might actually still be a good thing for the series. But before going forward, let me point out that we are aiming to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you do enjoy my content, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. With your help, it just might be possible. And I'll also point out, I am going to be discussing some of the leaks that have come out about the Direct over the last couple days. I'm not sure it's going to totally spoil the Direct, but I am warning you because they're potentially major. But I do feel it's important to bring them up for this discussion revolving Metroid Prime 4 possibly being in this rumored Direct that is yet to have been confirmed, but I do think it's probably happening this week. Of course, we shall see. Regardless, there's always a Direct in September, so there's bound to be one. And Metroid Prime 4 is like that last big game that was announced for Nintendo Switch that is yet to have been shown off. With us clearly reaching the tail end of the Switch's life cycle, with all the reports of Switch 2 coming out in the second half of next year, you would think Prime 4 would be close. But there is a debate here. Will Prime 4 be saved for Switch 2, or will it come out as the final big game for Switch? There have been some that have come out and said that Prime 4 will be the final big game for Switch. That's what Andy Robinson has said. He is the owner of Video Games Chronicle, one of the most reputable video gaming news reporting sites there are. Also, a commonly known and reputable leaker, Nate the Hate, a few months ago was at least expecting Prime 4 to come out by the end of the fiscal year. I don't know where his expectations are now, but there have been people who are known to have good inside information on the industry that have been expecting news on Prime 4 relatively soon. Even recently with the Xbox Era podcast, it was discussed how there are some who have seen things about Metroid Prime 4. And even earlier this year, myself and Nintendo Prime heard that Prime 4 is essentially done. So you would think that if all of this information is true, which of course take it with a grain of salt, you don't know where it's coming from, you don't know if those plans will change or not, but if it is, you would think Prime 4 would be soon. And even if you don't account for the rumors, the game restarted development, or at least was announced to restart development back in January of 2019. We are currently in September of 2023. It's been a long time. They could show something off. I'm not saying it's coming out this year, it's definitely not coming out this year, but maybe sometime next year. I think it's very conceivable. So, will it be in the Direct? So, there's this leak from Pioro, or I'm not even sure if we call it a leak, but he's just asking this question: what is the last big reveal of the Direct? I'm paraphrasing here, I'm not reading it point blank verbatim, but that's basically what was asked. And I've been kind of waiting to see if there's any updates on this, and I haven't seen anything yet. Maybe by the time this video comes out or tomorrow, there will be an update on this, and this whole point will have aged poorly or greatly, we shall see. But it is kind of asking the question, what is the last big reveal? Because while there have been some things discussed, it hasn't been the last big reveal apparently, which is potentially good news because we haven't heard about anything that's exciting a lot of us. At first we thought we may be getting an F-Zero GX remaster, maybe a new Donkey Kong game, but with some of the additional things that have been said that have seemed to have added more context to those initial leaks, we're not sure if it's going to be the long-rumored F-Zero GX remaster that might be kind of a big deal. We're not sure if it's going to be the long-rumored Donkey Kong game that also might be a pretty big deal. Instead, it might be smaller things that might still be fun and exciting, but definitely less hype for most people that were interested in these games. So with that said, you could argue that if those aren't big reveals, maybe there is going to be a big reveal, that maybe there's still something huge that is left to be shown off during this Direct. Maybe that could be Metroid Prime 4. And with us not knowing what that last big reveal is, at least based off what Pioro is suggesting from what we've seen so far, Metroid Prime 4 could be it. There aren't many options left in terms of what we know about for Switch that should be announced for Switch. So this could finally be the time. And I'm really hoping for that. I would love to cover Metroid Prime 4 the same way I talk about Tears of the Kingdom, with just very little footage, but there's just so much there that you can kind of analyze and enjoy. Like, I'm excited just to start this media cycle for Metroid Prime 4. I don't even need the game yet. Like, for me, just talking about it with actual details that we can analyze is exciting in and of itself. I remember when Retro Studios updated their Twitter page with that background art, and we did like multiple podcasts talking about just this piece of art for hours. Like, I am waiting for just the teaser trailer. That alone would be so much for me personally. It would just be exciting to think about and talk about. But we may wait longer. Nintendo may have a shorter interval between unveiling and release. Like, that is definitely in the cards. And I am trying to restrain myself. I am trying to be cautious going into this one. Because admittedly, usually when I go into a direct, I'm open to possibilities. But with all the Prime 4 hype and rumors and talk that was going into the summer direct just a few, 2 months ago, I was thinking Prime 4 would finally be showing off, and it wasn't. So my heart was a little broken, just a little broken. I got over it. Mario Wonder looks amazing. I'm excited for that. The Peach game, we're probably going to learn more about that during this direct. So those are exciting things. But I'm just trying to be cautious here, because Nintendo may not show off Prime 4 yet. I want to see it badly, but it may not happen. There is this rumor for Metroid Prime 2, though. I am kind of expecting that. Jeff Grubb has said that Metroid Prime 2 is supposed to come out soon, so I would think it would be Shadow Drop. And if Metroid Prime 2 is at least shown off, even if Prime 4 is not mentioned to any capacity at all, if we at least get the Metroid Prime 2 release, that I think bodes really well for us Metroid Prime 4 fans, or those who want to become fans if they've never played the Metroid series before. And the reason I say that is because we got Prime 1 in the February Direct. They Shadow Dropped it. If in the September Direct in the same year they Shadow Drop Prime 2, I think that suggests that they have a plan here. They have a plan to release all the Prime games eventually in a lead up to Prime 4. It supports the rumors that it's almost done, I would say. It would suggest that Nintendo is slowly building up to something here. And we've seen Nintendo do this before. Take, for example, Pikmin 4. Pikmin 4 was not announced, but we got Pikmin 3 Deluxe, they had the Pikmin mobile game, and they had the Pikmin in the Super Nintendo World Park. And then Nintendo showed off Pikmin 4. So we got Prime 1 now, we had Metroid Dread not too long beforehand, maybe Nintendo wants to build up to Prime 4. So if that happens, I think that's a good thing. And hypothetically, if Prime 4 is not in the Direct, I think what that would mean for when it's coming out is that it's not going to come out until the second half of 2024 at the earliest. And I think that might be great news, because that would mean we'd be getting a cross-gen version of Prime 4 for Switch 2. With the recent rumors of Nintendo showing off this big tech demo, I mean, it's being reported by Eurogamer and Video Games Chronicles, so they're pretty reputable rumors, but the idea here is that there were these tech demos showing off for Switch 2, and one of them included a greatly enhanced version of Breath of the Wild. So it may be the case that Nintendo has this plan for Switch 2, where a lot of games that were made for Switch will look and run a lot better on Switch 2. So take Metroid Prime 4. From the Xbox Era podcast, it's been rumored that this game is going to have big and open areas, somewhat akin to Halo Infinite, even though it won't necessarily be open world from what they think. But it's visually unbelievable. If this is what's being done on Nintendo Switch, especially considering what they did with Prime Remastered and how amazing that looks, that's exciting. But if there's going to be a Switch 2 version that's going to run at a higher resolution with more going on, that's also exciting. I'm interested to see the best version of Metroid Prime 4. The same way, Breath of the Wild was great on Wii U, but it was a lot better on Switch because it was portable, it had a slightly higher resolution, slightly better audio. I want to play the definitive version of Metroid Prime 4, so I personally will get it on Switch 2, even though I think Nintendo will probably make sure that the Switch version of Prime 4 will still be great. So that's kind of like the silver lining here if Prime 4 isn't in this Direct. I don't think it's necessarily cause for concern. However, if we get this Direct, and Metroid Prime 2 is not there, nothing Metroid is there at all, nothing, I do think I would be a little concerned. I wouldn't be so concerned that I would think that Metroid Prime 4 is getting cancelled, but I would be thinking, oh, we might not get Prime 4 until like 2025. Which would be a little disappointing, but it would just be one more year. which wouldn't be the end of the world. I think that's kind of like the worst case scenario here. I 100% believe Prime 4 development is going relatively well. Everything we've heard with the hirings and the different rumors about how good it looks and all of that, I think it's going to be totally fine. That's just kind of like the worst case scenario. The best case scenario is that we finally see Prime 4, because I'm impatient, and I'm sure a lot of you watching this video are also hoping for Prime 4 news as soon as possible, reasonably. And I think it's going to look amazing. I think it would be something that would warrant the final big reveal of the show, and maybe that's what Pioro is alluding to, or maybe not. By the time you see this video, that may already be made apparent. Personally though, even if it's shown off, I don't want it to come out in the first half of this year, mainly because I do really want that cross-gen version. I want it to come out on both systems and be amazing. I'm kind of hoping it comes out sometime in the second half, maybe a month or two after the release of Switch 2 alongside a 3D Mario, because that's what I think is happening. If it comes out before, that's totally fine as well. I'll be glad to play it on my Switch. Prime Remastered looked amazing on my Switch. I'm sure Prime 4 will look even more amazing on just the Switch. Regardless, whatever happens in this Direct, I'm sure there'll be some things to be excited about, even if Metroid's not there. And if it's not there, that doesn't mean all doom and gloom for Metroid. It will happen. We just gotta be patient. And maybe somehow I'm trying to reverse the voodoo energy here, and we do get Metroid Prime 4 in the Direct. Fingers crossed. We shall see. Anyways, everyone, this is Andres Restart. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care.